Here is a trading plan from Tuesday, November 27th, 2012. This is again from the Around the Horn scalp setups. And I want to take a look at one of the trades that triggered. We had 3 trigger during the session, and more or less in line with the way that I like to see these things trigger. And I would just like to drill down and have a look at what it is that I'm looking for in regards to what happens with this trading plan. The stock we're going to look at is Chart Industries, ticker symbol GTLS. As we see here, the primary entry on this one, 59.19 with a 58.76 scalp target. 59.66 Alt 1 entry with a 59.30 scalp target, and a 60.04 Alt 2 entry with a 59.74 scalp target. GTLS as a short sale, this is exactly the way that I like to see these set up. So what we see happen here is that the stock opened flat, and then almost immediately within the first 15 minutes of trading we see this spike up and through the central pivot, and we also get a move through that Alt 2 target. The targets are in blue, the entry lines are in red, and then we would expect the next point of resistance to be the Alt 2 entry price, and in fact it is. Now, I'm not taking it on a reversal of that entry, right? I'm not trying to get in because I want to see these come down through my planned entry price. So in this case, I'm going to look for a 59.66 entry, and I'm going to have a 59.31 initial target on that position. So if it triggers, if not, it might spike higher here and get us up above the Alt 2 entry, in which case I'll look for it to pop back down through there and look for a target at 59.75, but otherwise I'm going to be on the lookout for a 59.66 entry with a 59.31 first target. Didn't take long. We now are right on top of the entry price, so at 59.66 short the stock, and we are going to look for a move lower now that gets down to that 59.31 level. We see it definitely popped off of previous resistance, and now we've got a nice downdraft occurring. I do expect that we'll see some pause or hesitation at the central pivot line at 59.46. 59.31 again, it's going to be a judgment call. If it blasts through it, then I'll look for a 59.19 target, which would be the next entry level, because that's where I'm going to see support and resistance. That's the whole purpose of the entry levels and the exit levels, is to sort of defy support and resistance. If it doesn't blast right through, I'll take the trade off at 59.31 and then just look to re-enter at 59.13. I'm not worried about the eighth of a point spread that I'm going to lose on that potential move. If it happens, it happens. I'm looking to take small gains with this strategy, and it's been my experience that if the market gives you a quarter, it's always looking to take back $1. So you're best off trying to get the quarters when they're available to you. As expected, when price reached that central pivot line, we saw a bounced back up almost to the entry price. No worries though, that's something that I'm expecting. That's why the pivots are clearly identified on the trading plan every day. And here we see we've in fact touched the 59.31 target, and I'm going to go ahead and exit based on the fact that we don't seem to have a lot of downward momentum on this one. I'll look to take this trade again, open another position in GTLS on any movement down through the 59.19 level, or a reversal that gets us up above 59.75 again, maybe test that next higher entry level and then flips back lower and reverses out again. But lots of activity right here at 59.31. Seems to be a lot of orders are getting filled right around here. So yesterday's support and resistance is definitely holding up. We had a VWAP range here during the trading session, and we had a bunch of other stuff going on. So that definitely seems to be reasserting itself. I will check back on this one in a little bit and see if there is another opportunity for an entry. Well, we're definitely seeing some downside acceleration in this one. We're right on top of that 59.19 entry. I've got it loaded up at 59.9. So there we go. We're filled. and got a small slip on the trade, so it's filling them down around 59.15. But as I said, the downward momentum seems to be accelerating, and we do have a pretty big target on this side of the trade down at 58.76. Now, what's interesting to note is that the 58.76 target is based on, what I would call a more elastic level of support and resistance. There wasn't as much going on there yesterday as there was around that 59.31 area. So it could be interesting. We could see a good move. Again, if we do, we do. If we don't, we'll just take it off right there at that 76 level. Well, it took 15 minutes to get here, and it's a penny from 58.76 and sort of hesitating. And I'm just snapping a line here to see what a reversal of two closes exit would represent. It'll get us up to about 58.93. As I said, given the fact that this one has a pretty decent range and that the momentum in the market is down, I'm inclined to say that this resistance may just be worth taking a look at and seeing if we don't get a break below 58.76 and have that resistance hold. 92 seems to have been a high. Well, we might get taken out here, but 92 was the high of the current bar and also represents a reversal of the two closing prices of the two bars before it. Well, actually, we might break down a little bit lower here. Now, if I see resistance right around 58.76 or right below this that pops us up higher, I'm just going to keep ratcheting that trailing stop lower. So if this bar here were to close at 58.82, then 58.83 would in fact represent a reversal of two closes, and I really don't have a lot of additional risk that I'm putting on the stock. Let me just drop this stop back up again, and let's see what happens over the next few minutes. Well, the move lower has not reversed any of the previous bars, and I've got a 22-cent extension on that initial profit target. So this was definitely the mouse that got the cheese. This last little leg here, we saw a big burst lower from an inflection high in the morning that happened about a half hour or 20 minutes or so into trading, and now a big move to the downside. Now, if this extends any further, then I'm going to start looking for something other than a reversal of two closing prices. So if I start seeing bigger bars here that would extend the profit rapidly, I'm either going to look to use an 8-period simple moving average. Those of you who are familiar with Around the Horn probably remember that setup very well. Or I will also consider a parabolic support and resistance, which is an algorithm that goes in and sort of draws a parabola around your prices, and at some point it will force you out of the trade. The parabola will reach price, or price will reach the parabola, and it closes you out. My bias, though, is that based on the slope of this thing right now, probably going to be an 8-period simple moving average that defines where the exit's going to be. Well, and it didn't take long. 58.66 is going to be the exit if price trades up through the 8-period simple moving average. Reversal of two closes would have already taken us out, obviously. And, well, there it is. So that's the end of that one, but nice extension, right? We got a nice move lower, additional move lower, down to 58.66. Doesn't matter if it wasn't a giant gain, and it doesn't matter certainly if it turns around now and continues to move lower. Made the move from 59.31 to 58.66 on what was originally planned as a scalp setup. And really what's nice about this is the logic is all there. I'm able to talk you right through exactly what I'm thinking. Again, I like to see those high pops on a short side setup that then fail at one of the other levels on the plan. And once that entry's in place, my bias is to assume that I'm going to continue to see price action moving the stock in the direction that we planned for the night before. And if I can get an extension, I get an extension. That's great. If that extension would have been an additional 50 cents, that would have been even better. But In this case, we did avoid an exit early. We had one exit right at a profit target, 59.31. That was a nice little trade. Had another entry, 59.19. Cost us nothing, 12 cents, right, to eighth of a point to figure out whether we're right or wrong. 59.19 triggers me back into the trade. Paid another commission, also no big deal. And then a move down to a 58.76 profit target and an extension to 58.66 and an exit on a reversal of 2 closes. So there you have it. That's the logic, and I hope that helps anyone who's new to the plan and those considering the plan. If you have any questions, shoot me an email, adrian@traderinsight.com. Have a great trading day.